Right, we now have all the questions that you've put. Not massive amounts, but that's good. That means probably you had all your questions answered, we hope. So we'll bring in Stephen again. And Steve, if you could take up the question time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Chris. And thanks, Grant. So just to jump into the first few, and if Nick, Craig and Chris can all be ready to jump in. Question for you, a couple of questions for you, Nick, if I can get you ready to go. First one, is there a method of changing a generic inquiries column default filter to say contained rather than equals?
It's an interesting question, this actually. Just had a little look in my system. So it really comes down to the field that you're using in the generic inquiry. So for something like reference number or customer ID, it will automatically default to equals. And that's because that field itself is kind of a primary key to that table. The reason it goes to contain is for something like description. So it defaults to contains because normally speaking, if I type in something that's part of a description, it then uses a contains to find it within that actual text field. So I don't think you can change, for a description field to use equals instead, but it really kind of comes down to the type of field that you're using.
Not a problem. Fantastic. Thank you. Another question here from Mr. Anonymous Attendee. Can we send multiple emails within Advance when the sales or the status changes? So I suppose that comes down to business events and whether we can have multiple receivers to those events.
Yeah, so you can send it to multiple emails, and when you're specifying in the notification template, you can actually specify, for example, the customer email, and you can also put in, the owner of the actual order's email as well, and you can separate that just like you would do normally within Outlook. You can separate it with a semicolon to do that side of things. So yes, you can do that.
Perfect. Question here from Sue in terms of where she goes for detailed instructions on how to set up dashboards and generic inquiries. Now,
yeah, I'll let you speak first, actually, Stephen.
Yeah. So look, there are some courses that are available through some partners. Kilimanjaro does offer a 2-day generic inquiries course that talks through all of that detail, and some of the other partners may also be able to assist with that. In addition, there are some resources on the MYOB Advanced Education Centre, of course, the contextual help. And if you have a good look around for Acumatica generic inquiries, you're bound to find some really good stuff on YouTube as well. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to that, Nick?
Yeah, I would like to just, like you said, the Acumatica side of things are always good kind of areas to look at, and that's what I personally use. And you definitely find in that, in that environment, there's a lot of people, because Acumatica have been going a lot longer than MYOB Advanced, so you have a few more experienced people, even more experienced than myself. So
I hope that helps, Sue, and certainly reach out to your partner or your consultant or account manager for more details around that one. Just a question from here from Anna with regards to providing more information about advanced people and workforce management and how they interact with the core modules. Anna, that's probably one best addressed by your business partner. So please just feel free to drop them an email, drop your account manager, one of your consultants an email, or reply back to the marketing team at user groups. And they can provide you some more details. But in essence, advanced people is a fully integrated payroll solution. Workforce management is a new addition to the MYOB fold that, again, fully integrates with advanced people and provides that functionality around onboarding, rosters, timesheets, award interpretation, and that then flowing into advanced people as the source of pay data. We actually did record a demonstration of the workforce management and advanced people session actually within our EXO user group, so that will be available on our YouTube channel as well after these events. We'll reach out and we can provide some more details. A question here from Nick in terms of when the upgrade will be released to existing users. So the version that Nick previewed, which is 2021.1.1, am I right, Nick?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, that's in the process of being rolled out. I think the final rollout of that should be finishing around October, I believe, is the current dates.
Yeah.
So it's actually very much in process as we speak, Nick. If you have any questions around that, just reach out to the support team at your partner, and I'm sure they can give you a bit of an idea when your site's scheduled to go live with that new revision. And of course, there is a free sandbox provided as well in advance of your upgrade. So make sure that you utilize that to do your own tests and review the features and functionality that's coming. Now, a question for you, Craig. What features does Focus have around cash flow forecasting? I think they're talking specifically around the budgeting and forecasting module. So if you could talk to that one, Craig.
Yeah, no problems. So yes, cash flow forecasting is actually something that will be in our budgeting and forecasting tool on the early part of next year. So we can do cash flow analysis and reporting at the moment, and the actual algorithm-based forecasting is slated to be released early next year.
Fantastic, thanks, Craig. And one more question for you, Nick. Can push notifications be used in all screens within MYOB Advanced?
That is a good question, actually. So from the point of view of the mobile app itself, so the first kind of thing is the push notifications can be used based on the screens that are within the app itself. And I would say from a service management point of view and the sales orders and opportunities point of view, you can push those out to those different screens. But via the customization layer, you do have the option to add screens into the on-the-go app. So again, have a word with your partner about what's available to be pushed into the app itself, and then those events can fire the push and open up those screens.
Great stuff. Thanks, Nick. Now, a question. Actually, I'll just continue on with you, Nick, while we're there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Velixo question, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm just going to. Yeah, I'll come back to the Velixo questions in just a moment. Is it possible, Nick? Is there an easy way to find the relevant data table for a generic inquiry?
Yes, there is a really, really simple way of doing this.
Why don't you share your screen? And
yeah, I was going to say that might be a little bit easier to actually show it. So if you can see my screen. So the easiest way to actually find this, and one of the precursors to this statement, is that as long as you have access to the customization feature, then you can actually use this tip as such. So say, for example, if I jump into a customer, and you can see that I've got, one of my user roles is customization. And once I've got customization, if I click on this, you can go inspect element, and you can actually do it via Control-Alt-Click. And really, this is one thing that I use a lot of, as you would imagine, for not just reporting, but for finding out other information. So say, for example, if you wanted to look for financial information, such as a credit limit, you can either go to Customization Inspect Element, and you can see once I do that, it highlights them. And then I can simply just click on that. And then what it does is, it actually shows you what's called a data class. So that's kind of the group of information tables, and then the data field. So I now know that I need to use that class and that field in my generic inquiry when I'm publishing it into this grid as such. So I would say, as long as you've got customization, just Control-Alt-Click is the best way.
Can you maybe just show the new add related table feature as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Another really, really powerful thing, actually. So if I go into edit generic inquiry, now with this generic inquiry, there's a few different tables that are in there. Now, if I wanted to add, say, for example, another table, I can highlight the table that I want. So highlight the data class, and then click on the add related table button. And what it does is it then populates based on the schema what I can link it to. So for example, if I wanted to actually link it to payment methods, or let's say, the invoices, then what I can do is I can select that and then go select related table. And what it does is it automatically, I can then see what relation we've got. We can see parent and child table, and I can click on add, and it just adds in that new table. And most importantly, and this is really, a game changer in terms of building these things, it's just added in customer and invoice, and it's added in the relations, BA account and customer ID. Because over the years, that's where, as a consultant, learning those joins is really a key part. So now you can just do that in generic inquiries.
So yeah, that's a big change in 2021.1, of course.
Huge,
so for those of you that are on the new release, that's going to significantly simplify the process around creating generic inquiries. And I hope that answered those questions for you, Gavin. Now, there was just a clarification from Karen on the question around intercompany features. Can you have an AR invoice initiate an AP invoice, Nick?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yes. So
Fantastic.
the AR invoice, as soon as you generate that to the other company, you then go into the AP side of things and you push in the AP bills.
Perfect. All right, now we have, that was great. Thank you, Nick, for all of all of that feedback. Now, Chris Miller, we have a few questions around Velixo. The first one is if you could just talk through that formula to show account descriptions from the account code, please. You might just want to share your screen.
No problem. Thanks, Stephen. Let's choose the right screen again. Okay, and so just wherever we are, just go back to that demo TB that I did there. So I've got in my formula, my general ledger codes there. It's just called account name, and literally all you're doing, I'll just go delete it, equals account, and then IntelliSense will bring up, there's account name. And it just so you know, in IntelliSense, you can write whatever you want to. If you write sub account, it'll bring up everything with sub account. Doesn't have to start with sub account. Okay, so there's my account name. The connection is demo-RB. Next comma is the account number. Now, what you probably didn't see me do is I use the absolute key F4 to lock it on the column. So you click it 3 times and hit enter, and it just puts it in there. And now if I would then copy that across over other things, it should still just put it there because it's holding that column. So that's the way that works. But Karen, I will send you a link to all the formulas and functions sitting on the Velixo website, so you can find them easily and not battle with it.
So there is a user guide or on the Velixo website. So if you go, I believe it's to velixo.com.
That's it.
And that will give you, you'll see that there is a support area and you can work through into that support area for a whole lot of videos, a whole lot of reference material. So that's the best resource around Velixo. That's
the area there. And you can find how-to guides, all sorts of things. Here's your functions, where it lists all your functions. If you open a function up as an example, it'll show you the function, talk you through the arguments, show you them, and then also give you examples. It's simple, but explicit.
There's one more question here from a Velixo perspective, Chris. If we hide zeros and then later update the report, will it unhide 0 rows?
Okay, so there's 2 ways of doing a hide 0 rows. You can hide just the 0 rows. So as in this case, let's just use that one and go hide the 0 rows. Okay, and it'll just hide those that I chose. Or you can go to the next level where you can auto hide. So as an example, if you had a trial balance by branch, and every branch used different accounts, and you use the auto hide, what it would do is it would, every time you changed a parameter, it would unhide and rehide almost instantaneously. If you save a report and it opens again and refreshes, it will hide and auto hide as well.
Perfect. Great description there, Chris. Thank you very much. And I think we've hit the end of our questions. So back to you, Grant.
It looks like it. Yeah, thanks very much, Steve.